What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the fact that the Bears do not have any players listed on the injury report heading into Monday night's game. We're also going to talk about where the Bears stack up against the Patriots, what some of the matchups that could be excluded there, and where we want to see the Bears improve at and where they've been weak at in 6 games so far. We're getting to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, Bears fans. So first up, I want to just note that the Bears, for the first time in quite a while, it feels like maybe all season, do not have any players listed on the injury report leading up to Monday Night Football. So what does that mean? That means that N'Keal Harry is probably going to be ready to go. Leatherwood as well is probably going to be ready to go. We don't know how much they're going to play, if they play at all, but they are going to be available for the Bears more than likely. And the one thing with N'Keal Harry, we know that we can use another wide receiver with size out there, and hopefully what he can do, what he's been projected to do in run blocking, we've talked about it a lot. But Leatherwood specifically, me and Bobby and C-Dub have talked about him a couple of times, but considering where the Bears offensive line has ranked, where that's gone, the fact that, even with the stat that I gave the other day and talking about like how the Bears offense actually holds their blocks at a close to league average rate, but Justin Fields has a higher than average throw rate for him as far as him holding onto the ball. But all that aside, Leatherwood was a rookie who started all 17 games for his team last season. And the only reason he was cut was due to issues outside of football. So if he's going to be ready to go, if he's going to be there ready to go, he could really be a huge factor on this offensive line for the Chicago Bears. We are all tired of Musty. We need to get some Old Spice to get rid of Musty ass or something like that. That was a corny ass dad joke, but I said it nonetheless. But we know that Sam Musford needs to get the hell up out of there. He's not been impactful. He's not been successful. Hell, he hasn't even been good really at any stretch of the point in the season for the Chicago Bears. 6 games in, we know we can use a lot of help on that offensive line. Looking at where Leatherwood was ranked, and even in his rookie season, what he can bring in both the pass and the running game, I'm not saying he's going to transform the Bears offensive line alone. I'm not saying that he's not that caliber of player. I would never say that. But when you look at the fact that this offense has been improving from week to week, as we talked about and went over in the numbers in yesterday's episode, we know that like adding a different mix to it, if he's able to earn a spot out there in the rotation, and God forbid, eventually a starting spot, that it can't do nothing but help the Chicago Bears in their efforts to try to protect Justin Fields just a little bit more than what we have and give him a little bit more time, even though, like I said, that stat that I went over yesterday, it's all going to bode well and help for the Chicago Bears. And so as we head to Monday night's game against the New Orleans Patriots, it's just it's a positive thing to have no injury report, that we're going to have a full complement of players, that we're going to hopefully get to see a look. Maybe this coaching staff decides to use somebody in a way that they haven't done. We already know they made some changes on on the roster as well, cutting Smith-Marsette. But even Matt Eberflus in that press conference talked about like how if they're going to improve, it's going to have to come from the players on this roster. They're going to have to need a little bit more. They're going to use guys in unusual positions. And, the fact of the matter is that adding more talent to this team that is talent depraved in a lot of ways can do nothing but help the Chicago Bears heading into Monday Night Football against the New Orleans Patriots. Now, what are some of the things that this team needs to work on overall? Some of the things that just not have been positive for the Chicago Bears team at all. It's the red zone offense is on this top of my list on that. The offensive line, the sacks, all that, we'll get into that. But the fact that we get to the red zone and we're just not able to convert that to points, be it field goals or touchdowns, it's bothersome. Because you look at the fact that the Chicago Bears have lost the last 3 games in a row by less than a score. And then when you look at the fact of what the Bears have lacked to convert in the red zone, it brings even more frustration. This team, whether it be play calling, whether it be players dropping passes, whether it be whatever, a fluke plays, a throw off the helmet, the red zone shit that's going on with the Chicago Bears needs to be rectified real fucking quick, to quote a rapper that I don't even like. I'll let you figure it out. It needs to be rectified and fixed. If we can fix the red zone offense, right? A lot of the close games that we recently lost would be wins alone, even with the mistakes that we've made, even with the sacks that Justin Fields taking, even with some of the drop passes. Again, some of those were dropped in the red zone. So, but with that being said, it would fix a lot of those things. If we can fix that red zone offense, it will go far for this team. Now, the second one is the pass protection. I don't care. Like that stat, like I said, you can make any stat kind of mean anything. It's interesting. It does paint a new light. But at the end of the day, when you look at the amount of times that Justin Fields has been sacked or hit, he was hit 12 times in our last game. He's been sacked leading, I think, like 20-something times. We need to figure it out with the pass protection. Now, could Leatherwood help that? Yes, but it's not going to be just that. And there's only so much that you can do with the talent that you have on the roster. But for example, Sam Mustipher got to get the hell up out of there. We need the pass protection to play much better, much better. And we need our passing game to continue their upward trajectory. It's been better, right? It's been getting better slowly, but we need to continue that. We need to have continued better play in the pass play calling, in the pass just execution, the passing game overall, the quarterback as well. Everything in that passing game needs to improve. It needs to improve drastically. Now, on the flip side, some of the things that have just been bad that I want to see improve on the defensive side of the ball, the run defense. The run defense. Can we get the run defense in order? Can we get the run defense in order? Can we get that in order? So that's some of the things I'm looking for the Bears to improve. Now, as we talk about how that relates to our game against the New England Patriots, basketball mind. Looking at it, we are averaging 15.5 points per game. We're 31st in the NFL in that margin. The Patriots are 11th, only allowing 23.5 points per game. It's going to be hard for the Chicago Bears. It's going to be a run-heavy game from both teams. You look at the Bears, they're the second best rushing team in the NFL with 170 yards per game. The Patriots are averaging 131 yards rushing per game, ranking 10th. They're 10th in the league also in passing yards per game. And so while we have the worst passing defense in the league, averaging 122 passing yards per game, we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. That was our passing offense. I think I said defense. We got to figure it out. This is going to be a tough game in a lot of different areas for the Chicago Bears. On defense, it's going to be tough. On offense, it's going to be tough. We have to figure this the hell out. They actually have the third best passing defense in the league. It's just, and the funny thing is that with the Chicago Bears, it's the tale of we have not played we do not play complete games of football. The Bears need to figure it out. This game against the New England Patriots can get tough and can get ugly real quick for the Chicago Bears. They have to measure up. They have to figure it out a little bit better than what we have. The execution needs to be better. The discipline needs to be better. The hits concept on the defensive end needs to be better. Our pass protection needs to be better. It's a lot of things that are frustrating with this team. But hopefully, everybody being healthy, this coaching staff is really evaluating the players. We heard about a reevaluation of every player on the roster. Hopefully, this coaching staff is using everybody being fully healthy to really figure out the best spots for a lot of players on this team, to figure out better combinations, to figure out that Sam Mustipher needs to get the fuck up out of there. This team has a lot of heart. Justin Fields has a lot of heart. And while I understand some people being down on Justin Fields, being doubtful of what he's eventually going to turn into, some of the critique towards him I think is a little bit too hard. But this is a team like, listen, Robert Quinn trade rumors aside, right? Roquan Smith, if they decide to move him aside, like nobody's coming through that door that's going to single-handedly save the Chicago Bears unless we don't fix a lot of things on this roster. We got to. We got to start making improvements. Now, again, this roster is not going to be great. It's not going to be optimal. It's not going to be one of the best anytime soon. Now, hopefully, polls in the draft and in free agency with all the money, maybe this changes next season. And we're talking about a much improved Chicago Bears roster. But at the time, judging this roster that we have, there have been a lot of glimpses for this team. The fact of the matter just is that those glimpses have not turned into victories. Those glimpses have not overshadowed the lapses that we've had in turnovers and everything else in the rushing game, everything else. We have to get better in the execution. We have to get better in the in and outs. We have to get better with the play calling. We have to get better with so many things on this team. But we're seeing that steady progress, and hopefully that continues. Hopefully that continues. Let me know what you guys think about everything down below. Make sure you're following the show at Shy Bears Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related because of you guys. Like I like to end every episode on, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.